And
Technology is so great.
good morning.
Good morning.
um,
Hard to believe we are already on episode 9. Technically episode 10, but we had the original episode 8 that just went live yesterday.
yeah.
Not want to cooperate at all.
No, 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 because that was the one that went. No, I don't wanna.
The
And
file was corrupt on
yeah.
Anchor. The OBS audio didn't.
Hang on 2 seconds. I'm still here. I just got to mute myself a minute.
I'm jealous. She can mute herself. I can't. That's a downside to downloading through or recording through Anchor. And I'm sure you could if you had a headset that you could, but I don't have a headset where I can. So, yeah, we're almost
Okay,
at the
I'm back.
we're
It's
almost
alright.
at
My
season
because
two.
the minions are at home today. Um, Yeah, they're here. So if I disappear at any point, peeps, that is because the minions have bellowed. Um,
And they're being assholes.
yeah, well, I can't really complain. It's been a good summer holidays thus far. We've done quite a lot. They've been and they've had quite a fun time. We've been all over the place. So we went away. Oh my god. Sorry if anybody heard that, but I heard it.
I heard a sound. I didn't hear what it
It's
was
fine.
though.
Sorry, he was complaining because the shower wasn't working.
I complain too.
um,
Speaking of showers, so the apartment I'm in has a basement, a main floor, and the upstairs. And upstairs is where the bedrooms and the bathroom is.
right.
I'm lazy. I hate doing stairs, but there's two crotch goblins that seem to think marathon showers are okay.
Okay.
Tired of having to go up the stairs 2, 3 times a day just to, evict them out of the shower because they're in there for 30 plus minutes.
Yeah.
I don't even get a 30-minute shower unless I'm shaving my legs. That's a whole other. But I just go into the kitchen now and I just crank the water over onto the hot water, and then you'll hear them shriek because the water's super cold.
And they're
I'm
like,
like, yeah, you guys,
no, get off.
yeah. I'm like, there's no reason why you guys need to be in here for more than 15 minutes.
Oh,
Get the fuck out.
don't. That's just like, if I left him to it, he was in there nearly an hour yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, out. And then he wants to have another one in the evening. I'm like, no, no. You've had an hour long shower today. You do not need another one.
So the eldest Crouch Goblin, she gets to take if she wants 2 showers in a day, she can have 2 showers in a day. We really don't care. If she's in the shower for a long time, it's because she's got really bad cramps and the
Yeah.
heat helps.
Oh
We're
yeah,
not going to begrudge her that.
that is. Have you looked into getting her, like them heat pad, like one of them heat pads, like what I've got?
She doesn't like them.
Oh, as she gets
She,
older, she will love it.
yeah. But right now, she does, because a lot of her problem is the mess.
Yeah,
So being able to, get that heat and the mess gets washed away, she likes that.
yeah.
And I'm not going to begrudge her that. I
No,
do know
it's
we're in
understandable.
the suburban. If we're in the suburban, she has to be in one of the seats with one of the heated seats, and it'll be 100 degrees out. I will be sweating, and she's running her heated seat
Oh, bless her.
because she's like, "Oh, this feels good," because it gives the whole back and the seat
Yeah.
itself. She's like, "This feels amazing."
Oh, bless her.
She
Oh,
had one that was so bad because it does give the pretty much the full body heat.
yeah.
There was one day she's like, "Can I go sit out in the suburban for a while?" And I was like, "Why?" And she had a towel so that way if anything bled through, she planned on being out there for a while. And I'm like, "Hon, first of all, I have leather seats and there's Clorox wipes already out there. You're good."
Uh,
Two, you get to go for a cycle of my remote start, which is like 10 minutes. And then you do have to come inside because I'm not going to get the police showing up because you've been sitting in my car for an hour.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, yeah, good morning, everybody. I know we kind of just disappeared then into our own little conversation before we. But in a way, that does
We
tie into what we're going to discuss today.
it does
It does, because this is today we've decided to discuss about your physical health and well-being, because obviously we have talked a lot about mental health and mental well-being and everything, um, and that also ties in with your physical well-being, whether
because
it
if you're not
be
good mentally, you're not good physically.
exact and vice versa. The human body is a very very delicate
Finicky
instrument. I
thing.
think it takes a lot of abuse over the years, and it puts up with a lot. But it does need TLC. It does need that. Um,
We are
and
house with emotions.
do what?
We are houseplants with emotions.
Yes, yes. That's a scary thought. I kill them houseplants. Um,
And you've managed to raise three houseplants with
yes,
emotions.
I have. And two orchids are still alive as well, so I'm doing well. Anyway,
Don't let her fool you. She had a few bad ones that they're just buried underneath the porch in the
no,
backyard.
they're
It's
not. They're
fine.
not. They're not. They're not. They went to my mum's. My mum rescued them.
Actual houseplants,
Yep,
not children.
orchids,
Actual
not kids, not
houseplants.
kids, orchids. um,
One of the first times I talked to her, she's like, "I killed another houseplant." And I was like, "What the fuck? Another one?
yep,
Fuck?"
yep. I just, I'm better off with the flowers that I have on my body, which is my ink. I'm better off with them. I don't need to keep them alive.
No, you just have to keep yourself alive.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So we thought we would discuss different fads that are out at the moment. Maybe touch on some new some exercise bits, healthy
Um,
eating, all that sort of shit.
Before we go any further, if you have an injury or a health condition, before you start anything, always make sure to talk to a doctor first.
Yep.
Always, always, always.
And
Somebody
please,
who's
like,
still
we,
bouncing back.
yeah, we are not nutritionists. We are not dietitians. We are not personal trainers. None of this. We do not have any qualifications in any of this field. We are just going to be
Just
talking.
life experience.
Yeah, just going to be talking from our personal experiences and things that have worked for us or haven't worked for us, and it's just so that you know you're not alone.
Yeah.
Um,
Because like me, I can't have pork products and I can't have gluten. I also can't have high amounts of fat and I can't have high amounts of sodium.
Unlike me, I'm
So
just
a
a
lot of
fat
the stuff you
bitch.
hear from me,
I just
oh,
eat
don't get me
everything.
wrong, I'm still a fat bitch.
I just eat
I'm pretty
everything.
sure if I were to kill my soda intake, I'm pretty sure I would drop a lot of weight. But I already can't have bacon. You're not prying my Dr. Pepper from my hands.
When she first found out she couldn't have bacon, I mean, I still dig at her occasionally now, but the first
It
time she found out she couldn't have bacon, I think I was actually eating
was
bacon at that point.
fucking bullshit.
Ah,
Absolute fucking bullshit. And for me, with the bacon thing, like, I can eat it. It's not going to kill me.
no, but it hurts a
I'm
bit,
just
doesn't
gonna
it?
feel, yeah, I'm gonna feel like I'm dying because it causes. I would rather have a gallbladder. I would rather go back to when my gallbladder was giving me so much shit because I lost my gallbladder about 2 years ago now.
And that was
I
when
would
all
rather
this
go back to the pain.
started. That after her losing your, after having that taken out, was when all of this, the change in your diet and everything happened, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. So we'll touch on that. So I go into the ER and I message Sale. It's like 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, and I remember this because I had to know this or had to know this for my old job. I messaged her at like 10 o'clock at night. It's like, fuck, it hurts so bad. I've got to go to the ER. I thought it was one of my ovarian cysts.
Yeah.
because I have really bad PCOS and endometriosis on top of fucking everything else. And I'm like, it's fucking with my sleep. I'm going into the ER. Maybe one of my cysts ruptured or something, and they can at least give pain meds for it. And come to find out, like 7 hours later, no, your gallbladder. This is after they argued with me for hours that it was my appendix. And I was like, of all the things I know it's not, I know it's not that one. Unless it can grow back, I know it's not that one.
Yeah.
Um,
How to know that you have issues with your doctor when they're trying to tell you that it's an organ that you no longer possess.
it's an organ that I hadn't had for like 10 years at
Yeah.
this point.
So
So I was like, well, I mean, I know some organs will grow back. Is this one of them? They're like, no. I was like, okay, that it's not that.
and they still wouldn't
But
listen. And they still wouldn't listen.
no. So they went in, they removed my gallbladder. And the reason they had to remove it is I had a stone in my gallbladder the size of a small avocado pit.
Which she did
I
because
named it
she
Fred
took a picture.
Flintstone.
She took a picture of it. She named it
Yeah.
and sent it to me.
Well, they offered if I wanted to keep the stone, and I was like, no, I'm weird, but that's weird even for
Yeah,
me.
that's that's a step too far. Methinks.
So I took a picture of it. I named it Fred Flintstone, which all of the nurses in the unit that I was in thought it was hilarious that I named it Fred Flintstone. And I was like, it's fucking huge. If it would have been a little bit smaller, it would have been Barney Rubble, but it's a big boy, so it's Fred Flintstone. Um, so I go home. I'm in recovery for like a month. Like I can't go back to work for like a month. I'm going stir crazy because I'm at my mom's and the woman did not have internet. I blew through so much fucking data. So
Yes.
much data.
She was going stir crazy. She was driving us fucking nuts. Absolutely mental. And it was just like, seriously, go and do something. Just do something.
And that's the thing. When I had my gallbladder removed, it was at the start of COVID. It was right as everything was closing down.
Yeah.
It was literally as everything was closing down. So it's not like I could go to a movie, go walk around the mall. I couldn't do it. If you didn't have to be there for work or to shop for a necessity, you weren't supposed to be there. And they were
No.
closing down a lot of the parks. So it's not
Always
like I could go
helpful,
sit
not.
on a bench. So I go back to work and I was told post op I could eat whatever I wanted because gallbladder surgeries have come far enough because they're like, your body's going to let you know what you can't eat.
Yeah.
They want everybody different. Your body's going to let you know. Well, I went to work and I would usually get, food from the deli, like a sandwich or something. And it didn't matter if it was a ham sandwich or a turkey sandwich. I would end up in so much pain and it would take 2 weeks for it to purge my system.
Yeah.
So I would be home from work for 2 weeks. My stomach would go back to normal. I'd go back, and like 3 days later, I was out for 2 weeks again. And after the third cycle of this, I went to the doctor because I was like, okay, something's not right. Like, there is something wrong because I wouldn't really eat while I was out sick. I didn't want to eat.
No.
I went, something's wrong. Well, I have a condition called bile acid malabsorption, which is not officially recognized in the US. Like, I can't even be listed as a disability to get, special bathroom fucking permissions because it's not a recognized disability because there's no official test for it here in the US. They
That's weird.
basically threw a bunch of medication at it and went, when something sticks, we'll know what it is.
Always helpful.
Welcome to American healthcare.
Yeah.
Because if I were to go to the UK where Sale is, they have actual tests for it instead of just throwing medications at it. And it's an actual disability. Because all it means is I have to go to the bathroom more frequently than everyone else, especially if I eat something I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, in addition to like the 12 meds that I have to take for my stomach, I'm on a really strict diet. or I'll have flare ups. It's like IBS, but it's
Mhm.
not.
Yeah.
I can't have high amounts of sodium, can't have high amounts of fat, can't have pork, and I can't have gluten. I say that, and I've got a friend turning 21. We ordered her a cake, and guess who's going to be having a piece of fucking cake tonight? And who's going to be up with an upset stomach?
I'm so glad I'm busy tomorrow and Friday.
No, it'll be fine. I mean, technically tonight it's fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up. I'm gonna be up late tonight, and I'm up at 4 o'clock in the fucking. I've been up for 2 hours now.
Yeah, whereas it's
Fuck, today's
well,
gonna suck.
it's 10 past 11 for me. So
Yeah, time zones they're great.
yeah. Um,
Um,
something just popped into my head. At some point, I don't really want to give this narcissistic piece of poop a platform, but I do feel that at some point we need to talk about the toxic masculinity that is happening at the moment due to and that is being played upon by a certain arsehole in the media that's been banned from TikTok.
which one? There's several that have happened in the last couple weeks.
This one is just how he's been banned from TikTok, he's been banned from Facebook, he's been banned from Insta, he's getting banned from Twitter. This is the Xbox ex fighter that was on Big Brother, that Andrew whatever his name is. So
Oh, yeah.
at some point, I think we need to discuss that as well because that is he's dangerous. Men like him are dangerous to our boys, to our children, to everybody,
Oh yeah.
basically. But yeah, I do think that that's something we need to touch on as well at some point.
Yeah,
Sorry,
maybe we
bad
can do
segue.
13. No, you're fine. Maybe we can do 13 episodes instead of just 12.
Maybe, yeah, we'll see. There was definitely something
Yeah,
going on.
we are planning on wrapping up season 2 here pretty shortly because we are already on episode 9.
Yeah. So, um, but yeah. So I have back to the
Fitness and health.
yeah.
So yeah, everything we have is from past experiences. Like I remember growing up, the Atkins diet was the big thing, and nowadays it's the keto diet, which I'm on a modified version of. But
See, keto for me doesn't work personally.
and it doesn't work for everyone. Like me,
No,
I've lost no weight doing it.
no.
None.
See, whereas for me, from what I can gather, the type of body type I am, I have to trick my metabolism. So basically, I'll do a low carb day, and then I'll flip over to a high carb day. So it's
Yeah.
almost like reigniting the furnace. Because obviously, carbs are what everyone goes, oh, carbs are bad for you. You shouldn't eat carbs. That's not true.
Carbs are energy.
Yeah, think of yourself as a car. Like them dual fuel cars. I don't know if you have them over there. Do you have dual fuel cars over there? Or
The ones where you use gasoline, but they always also use the kinetic energy to save on fuel.
yeah, or they have like a battery, they've got both, like a fuel bank and a battery bank, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
We don't
or
plug it.
you can think of yourself as like a motorbike. Think of a motorbike. Motorbikes have two fuel tanks normally. They have their main tank and they have a reserve tank. Um, and on most bikes, you have to like press a button to flick it over to a reserve tank. Um, but your main tank is, for us, is our carbs
Mhm.
because that is what we use. That is our fuel. Um, but by alternating between main tank and reserve tank, basically what it does, if you deny not deny, but restrict carbs every other day or a few days, your body goes, oh, hang on a minute, I haven't got the fuel from here, so I've got to use the fats that you've got so your fats are your reserve tank. So it's like you've got to use a reserve, so you've got to use the fats. So it burns them, but then all of a sudden your body starts getting used to burning them, so your metabolism slows down again. So you kick it back over to carbs, and it goes, oh look here, I've got proper food. I've got my carbs again, so it starts using that again, and it kicks the metabolism into gear. So that's what I've been told basically, and that's
Yeah.
kind of a
And
dumb way of looking
everybody's
at it.
different.
Yeah,
See, for me to lose the most amount of weight healthily, I have to really watch my macros, and I've got a cheat sheet written down for when I actually do it. Because
mm,
let's be honest, I haven't been. It's like 3 grams of protein
hang on 2 seconds. Go. Hang on, child.
for 2 carbs for 1 fat or something like that. I know it's 3 grams of protein. I always get the carbs and the fats flip flopped, but that's the system that works best for me. Is I just really count my macros. However, I'm also a lazy bitch and I don't. Like I said, I'm lazy. It's fine. So, but yeah, everybody's different. There's been a lot of fads. There's been the Atkins ones, which
Hi.
cuts the carbs.
Yep.
Hi. Keto, which is ridiculously high in fat. You basically replace all of your carbs with fat, which has never made sense to me.
No. But then you need a
But I
certain.
like the fact that I can get granola bars and stuff that are gluten free. So
Yeah.
like for me, that's like the one perk of the keto diet is there's granola bars
I
out
think
there because
the
they're
problem
marketed for
problem
keto.
I find with the diet health culture is it has become a culture, and it is very much no matter what you do, they will find a new fad for you to try
Yeah.
to do because it's they're making money. As long as we dislike ourselves, as long as we buy into this whole we're supposed to look this way, we're supposed to eat this, we're supposed to do that, we're supposed to do this. As long as we buy into their media, the diet
I want
companies
to.
are going to keep making money,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I want to say her name is Jax on TikTok.
right?
And if that name sounds familiar to you, it should because she went viral for a song called Victoria's Secret.
Oh my god, yeah, yeah, I love that song.
Yep. There is nothing wrong with you as long as you are healthy. No two bodies are getting, I mean, unless you have an identical twin, no two bodies are going to look identical.
No, and everybody, we should embrace individuality. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here and um, saying it's good to be obese. I'm not sitting here and saying that it's
No.
good to be unhealthy. I'm not sitting here saying it's good to sit on your ass and do nothing all fucking day and have high cholesterol and be running the risk of having a heart attack. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying get up, get active, even if it's just walking. Even if it,
Yeah.
even if you just walk around the house and hoover, or you don't, and I know everybody
Get
says,
up and do something
yeah, get
if you
up
can.
if you can,
If you
if
can.
yeah, if you can. I know there's people that can't. Obviously, I do understand that, and I do understand that as humans, we have a very unhealthy relationship with food. Some of us, and also it's not always down to the big people. Everyone automatically assumes they see a big person and they go, they don't do anything. They eat 10 ton of crap that they shouldn't eat, and do you know what I mean? They always automatically assume that they're obese through choice. Yes, there
Yeah.
are a lot of people that are. I'm not disputing that, but there's also the same amount of people that aren't. That don't
So,
try.
because I've actually been on this. So I started working at Walmart back in 2019, and I really don't care if y'all know where I worked because I don't work there anymore. I worked there back in
More big head
2019, and
talk.
oh yeah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
We'll get into that, but yeah, go on, carry
Um,
on.
but I started there in 2019. I worked in the lawn and garden department, which meant I was helping throw patio furniture that weighed in at upwards of 600 pounds. And there was two of us at most normally throwing one of these,
Yeah.
which I know a lot of you guys are probably going, oh, there's no way only two people could. Yeah, there is. I am classed as morbidly obese. And I will say this, I just had a doctor's appointment. And even though I am classed as morbidly obese, since I don't work there anymore, my blood pressure is normal. My cholesterol has always been normal.
Yeah.
Um,
So I mean, I am.
basically,
Yeah, go on.
literally the only thing wrong with me is I'm fat. That's
Yep.
it. That's the only thing wrong with me.
That, that's
Otherwise,
that's
I'm healthy.
yeah. That's no different to me to a certain degree because I had to go and have, for want of a better word, an MOT, a full body
Okay,
workout.
for those of us in America,
Um, I had to go and have, what would you call it?
an annual physical.
There you go. Yeah, I had to go and have a physical basically. I had my bloods taken,
She threw a new one at me.
blood pressure, and all that sort of stuff. Basically, just an overall checkup because I was having dizzy spells. And you would think, with my life, with the kids, and things that get thrown at me from people, we won't go into that, but from people, um, and with being overweight and everything else, you would think I would have high blood pressure, wouldn't you?
Hmm.
I don't. According to my doctor, I have low blood pressure. Um, it's still within the safe parameters, but it is on the low side, which is partly down to why I get a bit of dizzy spells. Um, when I stand up, if I stand up too quick as well, my blood pressure drops. And I told my mum, she was like, "Well, you got to have high blood pressure because of all the stress you're under and everything." I said, "No, I don't. I have low blood pressure." And she's like, "How the fucking hell do you work that one?" I went, "I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't have a clue." So,
Magic.
huh?
Magic.
Yeah. So I've got low blood pressure. I work out 4 times a week. I try and watch what I eat for the most part. I'm back on my trying to be careful with what I'm eating again because obviously I took a couple of weeks off because of the summer holidays and going away and everything else.
She eats a lot healthier than I do.
Yeah, I at the moment
She
I'm
just gets that fucking bacon.
yeah,
Bitch.
and
Bitch.
pizza. I get to have proper pizza.
Bitch.
Yeah, and sausages.
Fuck off.
um, but I'm still classed as obese, as overweight. But if you actually, but that's only by your BMI. And
Yeah.
BMI, I'm sorry, BMI is bullshit.
Yeah, my body fat. Okay, so my BMI throws me up in morbidly obese, but my body fat percentage is not nearly as high as a lot of people would think it is.
No, like, um, see the thing is, I have with mine, most of mine is round my stomach. That is where I carry the weight. um, but because the BMI, I don't know if can I find the link I sent you, or have I got to find it again?
I can't pull it up because I have Anchor open on my phone and I left my laptop upstairs. And as soon as I close out, I get disconnected
No,
from
you're
Anchor.
fine. Okay, let's. I really don't want to have to go into Wikipedia for it. Thanks. mm. Yeah, we'll do this one. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, bizarre and racist history of the BMI. Okay, this is something that doctors throw at you all the time. According to your BMI, you're overweight. According to your BMI, you're obese. The body mass index has been used in recent decades as a referendum on individual health, right? But obviously, how can you have something that's mass for an individual? That's just bullshit. You can't do that. The invention of the BMI has been around nearly 200 years. And I'm not being funny, but people have changed in 200. If you look at, especially over here, if you look at the height of doors and the width of things, the height and everything else, from 200 years ago to now, we're taller. We're so much
Mm-hmm.
taller. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
went away last week and my friend took me to have a walk around one of their historic villages. And we're going past, and the door frame, I mean, he's taller than me. He's just over 6 foot. But,
Chicka bow wow.
shush. Uh, but
For
the
more
door
on that, check
frame,
out last
the door
episode.
frame was like coming down to like his shoulders, the top of the door, and I'm like, So, see, I told, because funnily enough, we had been discussing how humans had changed over the years. And I said, see, look, see how much taller you are now. He's like, no, yeah, go away. um,
So,
and it was created, BMI was created by a bloke called Adolf Ocatelet. I can't pronounce that. Some bloke.
send me the link. Send me the link. We'll throw it in the description.
Yeah. Who, hang on. He was actually, his studies included astronomy, mathematics, statistics, and sociology. Um, and it was all to do with like the average man. He was not a physician, nor did he study
Keep in
this.
mind though, keep in mind though, 200 years ago, they thought a lot of the healthcare and everything was magic, and that by bloodletting, you could fix everything.
Yeah. Um.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Speaking of back then, if you haven't already, you should totally look up why the chainsaw was invented.
Oh no. Mm-mm. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Just don't do it. Just. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You're no fun.
No, no. I'm trying to save our
But
listeners.
besides that, you know as soon as you tell someone not to do it, they're going to be pulling out their phone, pulling up Google on their laptop, and they're going to be Googling that shit going, why was the chainsaw invented?
Yeah, just don't do it. Mm-mm. Don't do it. But yeah, basically, um, when the BMI was created, they basically did a section of the male population, white men from say 20 to 40, and that was kind of what he based it on, roughly. There was no diversity, there was no females included in it, there was no.
Okay, so it's like the seatbelt testing in cars for the driver.
Yeah,
Which, if you didn't know, tangent, I know. If you didn't know, women are more likely to be physically hurt or, killed in a car crash if they're driving because they go off of a model and standard from when men were the primary drivers and women weren't driving a whole lot.
yeah.
Men are typically taller than women,
I mean,
typically.
it says here like the BMI overestimates fatness and health risks for black people. Meanwhile, according to the WHO, so World Health Organization, the BMI underestimates health risks for Asian communities, which
They're
may
smaller. I'm not trying to sound racist or anything, but Asians as a whole typically
yeah,
are smaller.
which may contribute to undiagnosed certain conditions, and despite the proportionate universe, the BMI its papers over sign, signify significant. See, I ain't got my glasses on. Its papers
She's
over
old.
signify no significant sex-based differences
Yeah.
in the relationship between body fat and BMI. Women carry more body fat on them. That's that's just how it is.
Biologically,
Yeah,
we are supposed to, because biologically, what are women supposed to do? We are to carry children. And it's an evolution thing. I don't have any references for this because this is something I learned in, of all places, an art class when we were covering fertility goddesses
yeah.
in high school. Um, Back in ye old olden days, like before Common Era, women typically didn't have a lot to eat. Men really didn't have a lot to eat. Women had to be able to store more fat cells, which is also why it's harder for us to lose weight.
Mhm.
Because if you were pregnant, you not only had a parasite sucking all of your energy,
Which it
but
is.
you had to. It is your body when you're pregnant will actively try and get rid of the
Yeah.
child. Um, but so you had to not only feed the fetus, you had to feed yourself. And if you couldn't get the nutrition that you needed, that energy had to come from somewhere. I want to say women have three times the fat cells or lipids is what they're called than men do. It's either two or three times.
See, like
So,
again, so this is here's why BMI. I'll send you the link for this one as well. Here's why BMI is sexist, racist, and fat phobic. That's a good header, isn't it? For something that your doctors
right.
will use on you.
So I luck out. I've got a really, it's also a woman. I have a female doctor. Like, she'll give me my BMI. She's like, I want to say she had to legally give me my BMI,
Probably.
but she's like, we're going to take this one further. And she whipped out a tape measure and she got my body fat percentage. So your BMI just takes your height and your weight and you're done.
Yeah, and it takes into consideration your age. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Versus the body fat, she measured my height and weight were a factor, but so was the circumference of my neck,
Yep.
my shoulders, my chest, my waist, my hips, my wrist, and I want to say my head. Because the difference between the two is one of them takes your age, your weight, and your height as a factor,
Yeah.
versus the other one also takes into consideration, are you a larger frame? Like I had somebody tell me I would be a lot slimmer if I lost weight. I'm sorry, I have wider shoulders than most men,
You'd be a lot
and
slimmer
I
if you
don't
lost
have that.
weight. Well,
Yeah.
clearly you'd be a lot slimmer if you lost weight.
Well, they no, they were trying to tell me my shoulders would be narrower,
Well,
is
no,
where they were
because
going
your
with it.
structure is your structure. You can't change your skeletal
If
structure
you,
unless you start
yeah,
having bones removed.
right. If you poke my arms, I don't have a lot of fat on my arms. I have muscle. I worked retail. I was throwing freight for fucking 4 years.
Well, yeah, that's the same as, but it's like for anybody that has seen any of my TikToks or YouTubes or any of that lot, you'll know because most of mine is from the shoulders up. So you'll
Yeah.
see that there, like, it's quite bony up here. There really isn't a lot of anything going on.
It's literally in the gut.
Yeah, that's it.
No offense.
Well, yeah, it is. It's all in
Um,
the. I have thick thighs. I have
so
big boobs. I have a big butt. I'm aware of that. I'm fine with that. Not an issue.
my ass is solid. My ass is solid. My thighs are solid. I have thunder thighs. Like my thighs will always fucking touch. They're solid. Even when I'm sitting, there's not a lot of squish to them. When I'm relaxed, there's not a lot of squish to them. My
Um,
arms are the same way.
but it's all belly. It's
If
all belly, 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 belly.
my doctor literally had me put my boobs on an infant's fucking scale just to see how much my boobs weighed. I weigh 266 pounds as of my last physical. Guess how much my boobs alone weigh? Give me a number.
£40.
A piece. Both both of my boobs on the scale came in at over 80 pounds.
Oh God.
So there's two things up with that. One, I didn't realize an infant scale could go that high, like for starters. But two, I'm sitting here going, I have been so hard on myself for so many years for being so overweight. And you're telling me that basically a fucking third of my weight is on my goddamn chest?
Doesn't surprise me.
Seriously?
It doesn't surprise me though.
I never knew how much boobs could weigh.
Oh yeah.
And before any of y'all start coming at me and say I had a boob job,
No, no, she didn't.
I was cursed by genetics.
She is 100% au naturel when it comes to her hairs.
I want to get rid of them.
I mean, she's not
I
natural when it
want to
comes to
get
her
rid of them.
hair, obviously. I mean, neither one of us
Oh
is.
no, no. The curtains don't match the drapes. Um,
Do you have
no,
drapes?
the
No.
curtains don't match the carpet. Sorry.
But yeah, it's
No, there's guys out there that think that the hot pink fucking hair is natural, okay?
no.
Yeah. I had to look at one and I go, how fucking stupid are you? Keep in mind, the long hair is a faded hot pink because I haven't touched it up because job hunting. Um, but my sides are my natural hair color. My eyebrows and my eyelashes are my natural. If my natural hair color was hot pink, my eyelashes would be hot pink, my eyebrows would be hot pink, my fucking arm hair would be hot pink.
If your natural hair was hot pink, I'd be like,
I
you
would
need
not like the color pink.
no, no. I'd be like, you need to go to the doctors though, because that's not normal. Not
I am
normal.
not fucking Sakura from Naruto, okay? Um,
I mean, my hair isn't naturally because obviously mine's bright red.
right.
And mine's not naturally. You won't find because mine's an ombre bright red, so it's dark on the top, isn't it? And then it's which is getting redone on Friday, thank fuck, because it's so much needed. Um, but yeah, oh no, mm mm mm.
Yeah, people are fucking stupid. So while that's a little bit of a TMI, it has to be said because there are men out there that are fucking stupid.
Not just men, not just men. There are just
Men are the only ones that have made the comment to me.
they're the only ones that have made the comment to you. I'm sure there's been some that have made it to
Yeah.
you. Um,
Women and the theys are just as bad. Just as bad.
humans. That's all I've got to say. Humans.
Our humans are stupid.
Yup. Well, an individual isn't genuinely, but
Normally, they're
yeah,
not.
genuinely, but you get a mass of them together, and they just seem to go into like crowd mentality, and it just becomes stupid.
You get a group of humans together. You know what they call them?
I dread to think.
The United States Congress.
The Supreme Court.
Yeah, that one would definitely be a good one. Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway,
when getting back to
and
hair,
I'm allowed to bash on that because I am the American, so fuck off. Um,
yeah, and I will bash on it
you just
because
don't
they
fucking
offended
care.
females.
Yeah.
And yeah, it, fuck them. I'm sorry, I don't care.
So
If you don't like the fact that I think that there's things happening in your country that are fucked up and is taking you back to like the Middle Ages,
so
don't care.
just to put this into perspective, one more time before we change subjects, in the UK, it is almost noon. In Australia, it's about 8 p.m., if I mathed that right.
Roughly, depending on where you are over there, yeah. Because obviously they have
Right.
different time zones there as well, because they're that big. We,
Right.
however, don't have different time zones in the UK. We're not big enough to.
That's because you're fucking small.
We're tiny, but there's
Um,
more people on here on our little island than there is in Canada.
I believe it.
Mhm.
So yeah. So in the UK, it's almost noon.
Yep.
In Australia, it's about 8 p.m.
6 p.m.
And in the United States, it's 1950.
it's yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. If not earlier than that, they're trying to. It's just yeah.
The joke is 1950, though. The joke
Yeah,
is
that is
1950.
funny. I like that. That is funny. But yeah, getting back to
But yeah,
what we were discussing. Because yeah, again, we've gone off on a tangent. We like going off on
right.
tangents. We do tangents well.
So yeah. So we've kind of covered the health, the health and fitness side of this a little bit. Another one is just men are going to call me crazy for this. But if you have the opportunity, periodically, you need to use a pregnancy test if you're a man. And before any of you guys go, well, that's fucking stupid, it's to detect pregnancy. It's actually been proven that if a man pops positive on a pregnancy test, that they need to go get their testicles checked out because there is a hormone that is produced when you have testicular cancer that will pop positive on a pregnancy test.
Hmm.
Bet you didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
So,
Mm.
um, one of the guys I used to work with, he told me that little tidbit. He was like, I have a history of testicular cancer in my family.
Yeah.
And he goes, the doctor told me, he goes, instead of having to go in, he goes, just once or twice a month, pee on a pregnancy test. If it pops negative, you're good. If it pops positive, you need to get your ass in here as soon as possible. So, and for women, especially in the US, get in the habit of taking a pregnancy test about once a month with everything going on. Because the sooner you know, especially if it's unwanted and you're taking the steps to
Yeah.
be safe, the sooner you know, the better. Um, but otherwise, if your body's telling you something different when you're like on your period or in between your periods, be persistent with your doctor.
Yeah.
Like I was having, I'm the epitome of if it can go wrong, it'll go wrong.
Mhm.
Um, Before I was diagnosed with PCOS and endometriosis, I was having really, really painful periods and really, really heavy periods. And my doctor just kept telling me, oh, it's normal, it's normal, it's normal. And I'm thinking a lot of this is it's just the American healthcare system. But I kept going in and I'm like, no, something's wrong. Well, they threw birth control at me and that wasn't helping. If anything, it was making it worse.
Yeah.
And now I have to take 5 hormonal birth control pills a fucking day just to stay manageable.
Oof.
It should not literally be Niagara Falls coming out of your vagina. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be. And
No.
it definitely shouldn't last 3 months at a fucking time. But they won't do anything about it because I don't have a husband to sign off for me to get a hysterectomy.
Okay, let's not go down that route. We're not
Yeah.
heavy in this run here.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
But I was persistent because I was like, no, you don't understand. Something's wrong. And when that doctor didn't give me the answer I wanted, to tell me what was wrong, because the previous one, all they told me was, well, a hysterectomy will fix it, but we don't know what's wrong. I'm sorry, if you are going to remove an organ, whether I want that organ or not,
I'd like to know why.
yeah. It took me 3 doctors before I finally got one that was like, oh, she's like, oh, well, you have really bad PCOS. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And she's like, well,
Polycystic
because you're supposed to
ovaries.
be fertile. Yeah. She was like, your eggs turn into cysts. And I was like, oh, that's great. And she's like, they're in your ovaries. And I was like, oh, that's even better. She went, sometimes they're in your fallopian tubes. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic.
Fan dabby dozy. Thanks for that.
Yeah. And she was like, and you also have endometriosis, which means your uterine liner is not growing in the uterus. I was like, what?
Okay.
And I'm the dumbass. When she first started explaining this to me, I thought instead of the uterine liners, forming inside the uterus, I thought it was forming on the outside of the uterus. No, it's just forming in the other reproductive organs. She did not explain that well the first time. Okay, when all they tell you is it doesn't form inside of the uterus, you're like, oh, it grows on the outside. That's weird. How's it still coming out of my vagina?
Oh my god.
This is American healthcare, okay? This is the shit we have to go through.
So I'm just as I'm listening to you, I'm just taping my ankle up because
But
we talk about healthcare and looking after ourselves and everything, and yeah, after all the walking I did last week, I'm a little bit tender.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, well, I did 50,000 steps in like 3 days.
So I'm not trying to push you down on that. So when I was working, I was doing upwards of like 60,000 steps a day just because of all the walking I had to do.
That sounds
Do you know how much walking I've done in the last 3 weeks?
about 1,000 probably.
If I've done 5,000 steps in the last 3 weeks, I'll be surprised.
Mhm.
Okay, now before anybody bashes on me, my phone counts as my pedometer.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't been carrying my phone with me nearly as often as I have been for a good portion of that, but I know I haven't been walking as much. I had to take my belt up a notch, or yeah, up a notch, down a notch, whatever. I had to make my belt bigger by a notch. I was like, ooh, ooh. So what did I do last night for a little while? I did some sit-ups and push-ups because I'm like, I really don't feel like walking at 9 o'clock at night in a thunderstorm when the thunder has already set off our tornado alarms. There was
Yeah.
no threat of tornado. The boom of thunder was just loud enough it caused like a short or something and it sent off the alarm. That was fun.
Not.
So, and we are coming up very quickly on the hour.
Well, what I do want to discuss, since we're talking about um, health and everything as well, is I have recently bought and received. I mean, it's the second one I've bought because the first one never arrived. So I've got in the process of sorting that out, getting my money back. I have bought the smart hula hoop.
You see it a lot on TikTok. It's the hula hoop with the weight on it.
Yeah. Um.
Over here, they're called the weighted hula hoops.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Over here they're the smart. They're smart hula hoops. Um. If you want to see my progress with it, jump over to
Check out day one. Check out day one first. I
yeah. Check.
watched it yesterday. I'm sitting I'm sitting in Walmart checkout with the eldest gremlin and I'm snickering and she's like, "What's going on?" So I handed her the earbud and I was like, "Don't repeat any of the words she says." She was like, "Why?" As you hear, "Fuck, this isn't easy."
For fuck's sake! For what the fuck?
To which she just looks at me because I've got one of the earbuds and she's got the other one and we're waiting in line and she was like, "Okay, I can see why you don't want me repeating the words she says."
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And then she goes, "What's a cock juggler?"
No, thank you.
Uh,
That's why my content is marked as not safe for children. Um.
I'd be concerned, but she watches my YouTube content and my TikTok content as well.
Yeah.
So I have to watch it first, and knowing it was coming from Sale and it was the hula hoop, I'm like, she's not going to be talking about sex. I'm not concerned. It's just going to be language.
Yeah. It's just
I've
swearing.
said worse.
There was
I've
worse.
said worse in front of her. I
Um.
told her teacher last year, the last week of school, motherfucker.
Yeah,
So
that's always
right in front of her. So
that's gonna go down well.
she she's heard me say worse.
But yeah. So if anybody fancies watching me do absolutely awfully,
I'm gonna link the first episode of her challenge.
please come
Oh
and
my god.
join us on my YouTube. There is also plenty of other content on my TikTok. There's a little bit more
You're
on the
speaking of
personal side.
TikToks,
Huh?
right? Speaking of TikToks, we are almost up to 50 followers on TikTok.
Ooh, look at us go.
And considering how bad I am about uploading content,
Yeah.
I'm hoping with the kids going back to school next week, I can get a little bit better at it because I'll have, you know, more time when it's not, 4, almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I like sleep.
Don't we all? Unfortunately, sleep does not always like me.
So,
Um,
just so it's not a surprise, and we'll probably, whether we do 12 or 13 episodes, because it's something we've got to discuss, we are going to be redoing the structure of the podcast again, because we're finding stuff that works for us that we're wanting to tweak, but instead of shocking you guys like mid-season,
yeah.
um, so there is going to be a little bit of a restructure there.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be more content on our other platforms. Um,
Yeah,
more of the private
because we have the
content.
YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have the YouTube. We have, which if we get a big enough of a following, well, that's a discussion for when we're not recording.
Yeah.
Um, but we've got the YouTube, we've got the Patreon, we've got the Discord, which is currently dead because there's like two people that talk in it, and it's
Us two.
us.
um,
I'm pretty sure everybody in the server has muted the server.
probably.
Um,
But Discord as a whole, I'm finding everywhere is dead.
yeah. It was
Um,
like COVID ended and Discord died.
yeah,
Um, unless you're in one of the massive servers.
yeah,
And by massive, I mean you have over 10,000 members in your Discord.
yeah. As a rule, I think the vast majority of them are kind of just ticking over.
So,
Um, but yeah,
but we've
so
also got Facebook.
yeah.
Ooh, that's something else. I've got to move TikToks over to Instagram and the Facebook Reels as well.
Mm. I
Fuck.
am going to be. What are you doing today? Because I am going to be doing hopefully some more writing today. Just trying to get this book bloody sorted. Um,
Um, I have I the unicorn is turning 21 today,
yeah.
which I still have to message her happy birthday. I think she's sent me a couple texts as like, hey, forget, and I'm like, I haven't because I still have to go pick up your cake in 8 hours. Um, her family's just as fucked as mine. Um, yeah, topic for another day. Yeah, so she's turning 21, so we have the crotch goblins here until about noon,
Yeah.
and then they're disappearing to somewhere I don't know where. Um,
I've got another.
for like 5 days because I get to have 2 days where I can, interview without the children. Plus, I'm pretty sure tomorrow we're gonna be hungover as fuck because we have a few bottles of rum.
I have already done one video this morning. In fact, I've done two videos this morning on
You.
my YouTube. One of which was just the new trailer, which is now out. My new trailer is now out. Um, I've done a new video already. I have got day 3 of the Smart Hoover to do yet today. Ugh. Um, ugh. That's all I've got to say of that one. Is ugh. Um, some more writing. I've got the minions at home, obviously, as well today, so they'll need feeding and looking after. But I think they're going to get pot noodles for lunch today. So they like pot noodles. They don't get them very often because I am very aware of
So
what they eat. Because I don't want them. I don't.
she doesn't want to give them the challenge that we have right now,
Yeah,
and we're the same way with the crotch goblins here.
yeah,
Like they'll sit there and they'll be like, "Well, I want thirds." No, you just had a massive first helping,
yeah.
a pretty big second helping. No.
No, it's. I
If
don't
you are
particularly.
hungry in an hour, you can
Yeah.
have an apple.
As a rule, I don't have sweets in house. There's ice creams, which they get one after dinner. Um, they'll get a snack when they come home from school, which is normally a sandwich and a packet of crisps and like a little Rice Krispie bar or something. Um,
We have fruit cups for their after school snacks, or sometimes we'll get a bag of chips, which are also known as crisps. We have sweets, and they usually get one small one because it's usually candy left over from the holidays, which I've got to go through and purge again. And they'll get one if the behavior's been good, minus the potty training toddler, because every time he has a successful poop, he gets a chocolate. Um, we're reinforcing good behavior after a few really bad accidents.
yeah,
He knows he's not getting them forever. Um, but so they'll get like a piece of chocolate or whatever about an hour or two before bed after dinner. Last night they didn't because we didn't eat until like 7 o'clock last night, and I was like, "You are not getting chocolate
yeah.
at 7 o'clock at night
So I was just looking
when
at
I
my.
need you to go to bed."
Oh, I was looking at my personal TikTok. I have gained like 6 followers in the last 24 hours. Woo!
So speaking of stats and everything, I'm kind of proud. I gained like 20 followers in the last like week and a half,
Yeah,
but
on
I
TikTok.
lost. Yeah, I lost like 30 when they went through and purged the robots. I'm like, fuck you guys. I am so close to that 1,000 follower mark. I am less than 200 away from that 1,000 follower mark. And you just took 30 of my fucking followers? Fuck you.
Assholes.
And the reason I'm stuck on the 1,000 follower mark is, and it's not even so much for the creators one, is it opens up the lives so
Yeah.
that way when we're recording, you guys can watch some of it live. You can
Yeah.
ask questions live, and maybe we'll answer them.
Yeah. Well, you are currently at 835.
Yeah. If they would have gotten rid of that 30, I would have been at 860. Assholes.
Well, see, I'm only on 162, but you think
You're
I've only
getting there.
yeah, but you think I've only been back really
She'd
since
posted
August.
like five or six, yeah, she'd posted like 5 or 6 videos when we first started streaming because we were told it's a really good networking tool.
Yeah.
And then she didn't do shit for like 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
I tried
Oh my god,
to.
Mute that.
on.
Don't want to hear that. Yeah, like this one, the last one I posted until till my comeback was basically 2021.
Yeah.
The start of 2021.
And even then it was sporadic.
Yeah, there was no consistency with it at all. Whereas
Let's be
now I'm
honest.
trying to be more consistent.
One of her first videos for her comeback was about Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Don't let her fool you. Don't let her fool you.
Why?
No, she's posted a lot of other content though, because she does a lot of the reactions, which are fucking hilarious. I can't judge. That's like 90% of mine.
I am I have
Oh
started to move more into the spicier side of me
yeah,
though now. That's the aim is moving that way
I
slowly.
I have crotch goblins that watch my TikToks with their mom.
Yeah.
I can't do that on my TikTok.
Yeah, well I don't have my minions don't watch TikTok.
Don't have TikTok.
No.
Yeah. The two angry women. That is my spicier content. That's probably where mine's gonna make an appearance. Is
Yeah.
gonna be on the two angry women because their mom doesn't follow that one,
Right, I've
and
just
if she
realised
does, she
we've
does the
gone
same
over
thing.
the hour again, woman.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the one upside to recording on Anchor is it will upload as one singular piece versus OBS. I'd have to split it into 2 segments if it went over an hour. So
Yeah, well, I have obviously because I record us, don't I, on OBS,
on
ready
OBS,
ready for YouTube, for our YouTube channel, because we're finally starting to find our groove.
well,
Slowly.
we're gonna go over a little bit. We're gonna go over a little bit more. What doesn't help is when we first started, I had a PC that could run OBS
Yeah.
because I had my gaming PC. I miss that thing so much. I say that, and I'm looking at a box with a PC in it right now. Um,
God.
for for obvious reasons, it's not getting unpacked, and
Mhm.
you know the why.
Uh huh.
Um, there's a lot of expensive stuff sitting in boxes for obvious
Mhm.
reasons right now. Um, Planning on moving. I don't want to unbox the PC and move it outside of the box. When if I leave it in the box, it's more protected.
Yeah.
Um,
But you
but
were
I would,
you did everything. I basically
yeah,
just
I
sat
did everything
and talked, so that was it. Um. Oh, it has
because
hit
I do.
200 views.
Woohoo!
That's sad.
Um,
Um.
but I did the socials. I did the recording. I did the YouTube, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, like all of it. And Sale has because I can't do the videos onto YouTube because I can't get software on a Chromebook,
No.
which are glorified fucking cell phones. Um,
They are nice little first computers, though. I will say. I think for like my minion, for my
yeah,
youngest, that would be a good little first computer because I have got one. But I'm
yeah,
contemplating using that to do my writing on, so it's off of my computer, so I can still take it not off of the computer, but I can take it when I go away. Then, and if I feel the
yeah,
urge to write, I can write on there.
yeah. So like they're handy. I can do the graphics work, which I don't know if anybody's noticed, but our graphics have changed, and I actually like these a lot better than the old ones.
Yeah.
Um, the old ones were super simple, and these ones are a little more flashy.
I think
Um,
it's helped as well. Like with well, I've got my new emotes as well,
yeah,
which I love. I need to get some more ones actually. Now I need to have a word with her and get her to do me some more.
I have to re-download mine. Um, but I mean, I did the new Two Angry Women logo as well
Which I
on the
love.
Chromebook.
I love the new logo.
And who knows? It might get tweaked between season 2 and season 3. We don't know. Um,
We're always learning. Always learning.
oh yeah.
But
What I know now versus 2 years ago when we
yeah.
first started.
But anyway, just to sum up quickly, because otherwise we're going to just sit here and ramble and go on and on and on and on and on. Right. Just to sum up quick, everybody is different, so you all need to start realizing that you are beautiful how you are. Once you start to love yourself, you can then move into
Do better.
it's an awful thing to feel like you're not accepted, to feel like you're not wanted, to feel like you're not good enough, and media puts so much pressure on us to look a certain way, to act a certain way, to be happy, you've got to look like this. To be loved, you've got to look like this. To be beautiful, you've got to look like... No, that's bullshit. Utter bullshit. You do not need to look how they tell you to look. You need to look how you feel comfortable, how
And
you want
it
to be.
and if you're one of those people that think or women that think you have to have a thigh gap, unless you are genetically disposed to have a thigh gaps are unhealthy.
Get some chub rub. Liquid talc works amazing.
Don't use baby powder. They've actually
No,
proven that leads to cervical or ovarian cancer. But yeah,
yeah, no.
they
Use
make
liquid talc.
they make chafing powder. I know Monistat does a really good one here in the U.S.
Well, that's
I
what
personally use it.
I used it. It's liquid talc. It is liquid talc, but
Okay, I never.
we call it chub rub.
Yeah.
Chub rub.
Well, we Queen Z. I can't think of who did that one, but Queen V also does one, but it's not as good. It wears off after like an hour versus Monistat. You can at least get 3 to 4 hours.
But yeah, just
It also works great under the boobs for
sure
heat
does.
rash.
Um, just be active. Do what you can do, and remember to celebrate the small victories. If you haven't been able to walk up the stairs without
Without
getting
getting
out of
winded.
breath or without being in pain, and all of a sudden you can, celebrate that. Realize that you've accomplished something. You haven't got to
And if you
leave.
want someone to celebrate with you, message us.
Yeah,
We will celebrate every milestone with you.
it is. Just remember that those things, whilst other people, just because it's a small thing to somebody who is weight training or who runs a marathon, or do you know what I mean? Just because that is a small thing, everybody has to start somewhere, and to you that's a massive thing. If you can go a day without pain, if you can walk to the shop unaided, if you can get out of the sofa without getting old noises, which I can't fucking accomplish. I'm telling
I
you,
used to.
I'll get out of the sofa and all you hear is oh, ow, ow, and it's not good.
I, I I usually do good until I actually put weight on my feet, and then the weight hits my knee, and I'm like, oh no, standing's bad, standing's bad.
Bad. But just because it's small to one person doesn't mean it is a small achievement. It just means for your life, it's a massive achievement. And celebrate them. Because trust me, it will help. It will help for you to remember and to go, actually, I achieved this today. This is what I achieved.
And I'm gonna add one more to that. And if you want someone to help keep you on track with that, I join our Discord. I will happily create a room just for you.
An accountability buddy.
Yep. And Sale and I will both be there for you every step of the way. I will create a room just for you.
But on that note, we do need to go because we're now coming up to like 70 minutes. Um, So, stay home. I'm gonna put my teeth back in my fucking head. Hang on a minute.
Be safe.
Yep.
Be kind.
Be happy. Be
Keep
healthy.
making memories.
And don't listen to the arseholes. You do you. Sod everybody.
Be kind not only to others, be kind to yourself.
Yep. Stay safe. Be happy. Bye.
And remember to call 811 before you dig. Bye.